Hi, I'm Kevin with PUI Audio, and I'm sitting here with Jake again, and we're going to talk a little bit about some applications of audio products.
Thought it would be kind of cool to maybe talk about some of the more recent applications that we've been involved in supporting, so that people have a better understanding of what we're familiar with and what we see on a regular basis. There's creativity everywhere you look when it comes to audio. For example, the electric vehicle charging market has grown very rapidly. We're all familiar with going to the gas station and seeing and hearing advertisements right there at the pump while we're fueling our vehicles. Sometimes they're advertisements to lure us into the gas station. Sometimes they're sports clips and highlights.
You're talking about the videos on the pumps?
Yeah, they're actually right there as you're pumping gas into your car. That's kind of changing today because the electric vehicle expansion, if you want to call it that, the explosion, is requiring more and more charging stations across the country. Unlike a gasoline-powered car, when someone's charging their electric vehicle, they're not going to stand at the charging station for the duration of their refuel. So it's an interesting challenge to overcome from a design perspective because you want to alert the user that they've started charging their vehicle, but you don't want to overwhelm them with annoying audio. Another great example is smart home technology.
Like what?
Smart ovens and kitchen appliances are using audio in ways that they've never been used before. Some smart ovens today are actually giving verbal instruction to the user to tell them how to follow a recipe to cook a meal inside this smart oven.
I need that.
It's pretty useful, but it's different. So it allows that brand to express itself differently. And similar to smart home technology, I know that you have some experience in microphone arrays.
Yeah, so a lot of smart products now, you can talk to that one thing in your house that'll turn on and off your TV or your lights. It uses an array of microphones to make sure it can always hear where you are and where you're coming from. An array like that is just a bunch of little microphones, but it allows whatever device they're attached to sense direction. It's called beamforming.
Versatility is something that I like to point out in conversations about audio because, again, as audio has transformed and become more complex, so has the technology. That means incorporating something like a speaker or a transducer that is multi-frequency means that the device isn't restricted on its output capabilities.
Is that why my phone sounds so much better nowadays than it did 5 years ago?
Yeah, ringtones were very vague and simple, and now we have cell phone technology in our pocket that is pretty impressive. A handheld device that someone needs to use can generate one tone when the battery's about to die, and then generate another tone when the user is successfully unlocking it, charging it, or using it in any other way. That versatility comes in handy because that means instead of having to design in multiple audio devices, each with their own reason or purpose, audio solutions become more multifunction and flexible, which ultimately means taking more advantage of audio capabilities in any design. We've talked about microphones and smart home applications, but do you have any examples about using microphones in more of a public safety or security way?
Things like glass break sensors in your home actually use microphones to pick up whether or not the glass is shattering. It's not actually a visual alert. Another one is gunshot detection. Law enforcement agencies have started using incredibly powerful arrays of microphones set up in triangulation to detect where guns go off. They all use different audio products like those to help increase security and safety in that industry. So on the topic of public safety, what about public health?
The medical market is always evolving and it's always expanding. Products like ventilators and respirators are growing in their need for audio. What used to be a really simple, straightforward mechanical breathing machine has really transformed into a product that communicates with the user, whether that's a doctor, a nurse, or a caretaker, that if there's a problem at all with either the patient, a problem with the device, the audio needs to be heard. It needs to be reliable. A lot of people don't realize that in most of these medical designs, there's a primary sounder, which in most cases is a speaker, and also a secondary backup sounder for redundancy to ensure that no matter what happens, electrically within that device, there's always a capable audio product to make sure that it's heard.
So it sounds like reliability is key there in the medical industry.
It is. It could literally mean life or death. Other examples, things like diabetes monitors or at-home care monitors, where maybe two-way communication is necessary between a patient who's at home and a doctor who is remote. In all of those situations, audio is important, and in most of those situations, it's even critical. So designing the right product that is reliable but also versatile enough to be used in a way that makes sense to the user is really important.
Well, those are some really neat applications of audio. I'm sure there's a lot out there, but it sounds like that's a good top 5 for today. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jake.
And we will see you next time.